我自我介绍一下啊，叶檀，大家好。首先就问大家都非常关心的一个话题啊，因为2017年，其实房地产市场炒翻天，因为有的人认为中国房地产市场它的黄金时代已经结束了，我们现在的政策都在出台一些新的政策，对不对？房地产市场是不是已经向白银时代来转变了？那有的人说现在的整个的房地产市场在上升啊，我们看到很多的房地产它的价格在上升，对不对？大家看最新的数据，而且还要抢房，那而且我们的这个库存量也在下降，那房地产的价格不可能下来啊。所以我先请问诸位啊，诸位觉得现在今年开始，房地产市场是进入转折年头了吗？黄金时代还在不在？从这个胡先生先开始，好吧？
这个各位大家下午好啊！这个其实今天上午我跟另外一个媒体也一直在谈这个话题。这个因为我们算业内人士啊，这个对这个事儿呢，这个操心的比别人多一些，比别人早一些啊。其实呢，在我看来，这个整个房地产市场的这个洗牌呀，就是从05年已经开始了啊，只是可能业外的人士呢是不太关心这个事儿啊。这个洗牌过程呢，已经持续了有10年左右了啊。实际上就是从洗牌这个角度看，这个洗牌已经快结束了啊。大约再有2、3年时间，我们看到啊，假如说5年前我们看这个百强企业，大约在全国这个10万亿左右的这个房地产的这样一个市场规模的背景下的占比大概还在20多的情况下，5年以后，现在已经超过了50了。现在啊，百强企业，那5年以后呢，我想肯定已经超过70了啊，甚至可能前20大企业已经占了市场的1半，所以这个结果实际是10年前这个洗牌已经开始了。所以说，我们说黄金时代也好，说白银时代也好，看是对谁。那对于现在快速增长的这些企业啊，像我们知道的最近这几个明星企业啊，有融创啊、碧桂园啊、恒大呀、万科呀，相对于这些企业，那一直都是黄金时代。可是相对于那些不断出局的企业，不但不是白银时代啊，可能连黄铜时代都已经不是了，它已经都出局了啊。所以你想想，现在这个前百强企业已经占了市场的50%以上份额。这在过去的10年间淘汰了多少企业，是吧？2010年的时候，啊，据不完全统计啊，大约有8万家地产商，啊，8万家地产商分享了全国10万亿的份额。那现在前100强企业已经分享了5万亿的份额，所以大家就是所以我呢，大概在3年前写过一篇文章啊，就是谈我国房地产业的过去、现在和未来，就是把这个事儿呢，基本上给它，我自己认为是说清楚了啊。所以现在呢，就是相对于总结一下概括，也就是说，相对于很多现在洗牌结束之后剩下的这企业来讲，依然是黄金时代啊。相对于那些已经出局啊或者即将出局的企业来讲，不但不是白银时代，可能连黄铜时代也不是了。但是相对于现在还在有项目做的这个或者找到一条新路的这些企业来讲，可能是进入白银时代了大约就是这样一个评价吧。好，谢谢。
诸位听了有没有过瘾啊？大家想拍手又觉得很为难，为什么呢？有一个问题就是，刚才说了，对于开发商来说是一个就是强者恒强，弱者恒弱的这么一个过程。但是对于购房者来说，现在是黄金时代吧？大家是不是想听这个问题？来，胡总再回答一下。
对于购房者来讲分2种一种是自住的这个买来自住的。那我的观点一直以来我不是现在观点，我20年前、10年前都一直是这种观点。对于自住房的这个购买者来讲，什么时候买都是对的而我这句话已经被过去的20年实践证明了的。你什么时候只要是你为了自住用的， 你买了房从来没有错过。但是为了投资用的，那当然要选一选地方。第一呢，要选城市啊，这个选那种人口净流入城市啊，人口净流入城市的房价一定是上涨的。那人口相对于我们经常讲的东北啊，东北3省现在大部分地级市吧，都是人口流出城市。那相对于这些流出城市，那你如果做投资用的，那你现在买房肯定已经不是时间了，是吧？所以说，看看你买房的目的是什么啊？你要是买房用来投资用的，就是准备啊，就是博一个升值来讲，主要还是要分析一下在哪个城市啊，哪个位置。那具体到哪个位置，就是肯定是跟轨道交通是吧？这个接近的地方啊，所以这个买房呢，就是还是看看你自己的意图啊，分自住和投资啊这两种。所以我就说啊，就是如果是买房用来自己住的，那么你现在什么时候买都是对的啊，这就是我的观点啊。好，谢谢哥。
已经说得很明白了啊，就是如果是自住，什么时候买都是对的啊，各位听清楚了。如果是投资的话，看2点，刚才说的看2点，第一点是看轨道交通，第2点是看人口是不是流入啊。大家看看自己的城市到底怎么样，来，是不是黄金时代？刚才说有人说有泡沫，是泡沫破灭的前夜。来，我们继续。
这个因为我们有一部分房地产嘛，所以也比较关心这样一个话题。那么我始终觉得呢，中国现在跟城市有关系吧。从总的宏观政策来看，他总是希望这样调控那样调控，但是房地产总的说来，已经是一个比较市场化的一个领域了。所以呢，不完全是用政策就能够在短期内可能发挥作用，但是从长期看，这种作用是有限的。另外一方面呢，就是房地产它走到今天这样一个程度呢，实际上还是和不同的城市有关系。比方说，你现在去一个3线城市投资，作为投资者来说，我觉得多数是不会这么做啊。那么肯定还是向1、2线城市投资，而且呢，从长远看，只有这个人口净流入的城市。那么越是这样的城市，那么人口净流入有很多条件，它就业的好，对吧？产业的转移啊，还有新兴的产业的这个创新能力的提高，对吧？这些都带来一个城市的这个产业就业状况的变化，因而也导致人口流入的变化。那么在这样一种情况下，凡是人口流入的城市，我认为都远远谈不上泡沫，还早得很呢，还是应该大有可为的。那么对于已经是一个净流出的城市，这个其实不光是中国，全世界都是这个规律。凡是你想想，这个10几年前呢，底特律的这个汽车工业遇到困难的时候，像美国那么好的城市，几十年前都是一个非常令人向往的城市，但是呢，都已经它的房子都是1块钱一栋可以卖出去。所以在这样一种情况下，要分析一个城市到底它处在一个什么状况，可能就要看它的人口流入的情况和由它什么原因导致的流入。我觉得这个是，如果这些问题想清楚了，那我想根本就不是一个对于所有这些人口流入的长期来看流入的城市，我们根本就不用担心，还可以大有可为。尽管房地产领域里面做了很多这个我们刚才说的这样一些或者这个其实是10几年前已经开始发生的事情，但是到今天如果想做，如果有充分的能力、资金的能力、设计能力、创新能力，如果有这样一些条件，其实依然还可以大举的进入到这个领域啊。我认为还是有很大条件的。所以呢，从这个意义上来说，我觉得对未来房地产根本就中国从总的来看，如果作为一个投资者来看，作为一个企业来推动房地产的这个角度来看，那肯定远远不是这个泡沫。我认为还谈不上泡沫。
我想请问一下啊，再接下去这2个问题。刚才您说啊，这个房地产市场，房地产市场我们的市场化已经比较市场化了，所以呢，基本上政策过来不会对房地产市场造成本质的影响了。我想说的是，您是不是认为现在这轮政策过了，房地产市场照涨还是涨？
我是这个观点，就是你可以短期调控说你要大家不要买房是吧？因为但是你看我们最近开了一个盘，大概就20来万平米吧。我的房子过去说月光房、日光房，你知道今天是什么房吗？今天是秒光房，因为
在什么地方？
在武汉嘛，就是你上网是现在房子要求你必须上网来卖，上网卖，一共只有这个几百套房子，有几千人来抢，这样一个情况，你说还不秒光，所以人家根本就一点进去就没了，所以那就说明什么呢？说明你的整个信号是完全失真了，你希望不管是什么原因。政府希望用一种短期的手段来控制，你是在这样一个强制，你可以说你不让你就比方说你因为房地产开发商要去报价是吧？然后最后核了准的价格以后才能拿到手，那我核的这个价格显然是不科学的，因为背离了市场规律的嘛，那它就秒光房了嘛，对吧？所以这样的情况，我觉得是恰恰是我们应该高度关注的，把一个市场的本来比较市场化的一个领域。用一个短期的这样一个这个强制性的办法，使它在短期内得到某种平抑。从长远看，其实对市场是不利的。我想这也不是咱们这个整个政府推动中国这个市场进步的这样一个方向。我觉得他们也会认识到这一点。
如果是房价这么控制下去，秒光盘还会继续出现的，估计是这样子。那么我想问问赵总啊，刚才说了，这个只要是人口流入的大城市，只要是人口流入的城市，现在2、3线城市只要人口流入，房价就在上涨。您也是这么想吗？黄金时代。
这个我的看法是这样，这个房地产这个黄金时期啊，对整个房地产行业来讲，肯定是过去了，肯定现在10几年前呢，完全是不能相比的。整个行业来讲，这是一个。另外一个，我就非常同意朱总刚才讲的。因为这个房地产行业作为这个从业的企业呢，其实它都有公司的数据。这样啊，这个因为近10年来呢有很大的变化，对有些房产企业，刚才胡总讲像这个公园呐、万科、恒大、融创啊，他们现在形势非常好，真的是有些地方是一房难求。这是第二种。第3种情况，对于大多数企业来讲，现在这个就单说每一个企业，就这一类的企业来讲，近10年，比如说我们企业早都这个布局也有所变化，比如说原来我们做房产，10年前都已经这个转变为持有资产、持有的商业办公等等。这样的这种不一样，已经有1/3转入，另外作为1/3作为资本运作，也只有1/3是在做房产。这样的话，就是这整个对不是对单一的企业，比如说我们来讲，它现在就是这个形势没有10年以前好，但仍然还是都企业还是健康的。那么对于这个说建造的房子，刚才这个老艾讲，我这样说，这上海的周边的，它不是油光。
我记得您在上海周边启东那边有。
对，这个一会儿再介绍。现在是日光，这个按照一个1700多套是3个小时卖完，在崇明岛上。
这10秒钟也是秒光盘吗？
不是我是那个碧桂园，所以呢，就现在这个上海周边的房子，它是很难买的。
我想问一下，刚才您说的，一方面是秒光盘，另外一方面，您觉得房地产黄金时代是不是已经过去？就是大规模的开发房地产，然后房价在顶上的那个时间是不是已经过去？刚才您说的跟前2位都不太一样，应该是白银时代啊。
这我刚才讲了，总的黄金时代肯定是过去了，但是具体一个楼盘或者这个销售啊，它真的还很好，啊，还是供求关系所决定的。
会维持多长时间？像这种秒光盘的情况，
多长时间不好讲，牵扯因为房产的牵扯方方面面的事情，对。
再接下来了，我们看到啊，现在整个的一线的城市房地产是受到影响的，对不对？就是我们看那个好像是上海的人口进入在减少，北京的人口进入在减少，这是不是会影响一线城市的房价？然后2、3线城市也会受到这样的控制啊？
这个话题在雅虎里谈了10几年了，每年都谈。这个房地产呢，因为我们这都是做房地产的人呢，他肯定是看好的。但是这个我看房地产呢，我觉得首先从供求关系，就是市场首先供求关系。那么我认为中国的房地产呢，我还看好20年。为什么？这个我们现在目前1年大概20亿的这个增长幅度，就每年盖的新房子大概20亿。我们现在中国的人均居住面积是40平米，美国是70平米。
所以没有供过于求啊！我以为刚才说的是供过于求。
远远没有达到。还有一个最重要的是，中国人有一个俗话叫做“居者有其屋”。其实人家在美国有70%人不买房，他是居者有其居，我们是居者有其屋，有其屋就必须买房。我们现在目前这个年轻小伙子买不到房，找不到媳妇，这是中国一个大的特点。那么第二，中国的还有一个大的特点，中国有14亿人，这是任何一个国家没有的。第三个就是中国把土地控制得极其严实，在国外的土地基本上政府是不所控制的，所以说这造成了中国的房子20年的一个最基本的，我认为一个基本的，因为每年21平米的话，我们正好就是说接近70平米的时候，正好还有20年。
因为还有20年的黄金时间吗？
不能说叫黄金时间了，应该这个行业是一个持续看好的，但是中间会有一定的波动，会有一定波动。还有一个就是你刚才提的一个问题，就是问那个具体问题，就是说我们大城市这个房价很高的时候，人口增长率是在下降的，但是实际上
北京、上海已经下降，
这不是个市场行为，这是国家强制控制的行为。这是人为控制的行为。如果我们敞开去供应的时候，你看它会不会下降？不会下降。还有一个问题就是我们政府的这个控制吧，一线房地产就是说这个北上广的房地产这个价格拉高了以后，那么逼着周边的地区跟着涨价，因为10万块钱平米的房子，打工的人是买不起。那么逼着，但是这个大城市的还有绝大多数人都是打工的。那么他在哪里？就在周边1小时的生活圈，所以现在目前有地铁、有轨道交通的1小时生活圈，未来的房价一定是会看好，是涨的。
所以您说是因为一线城市政府给控制了、限购了，所以1小时生活圈现在的卫星城市都在涨，是吧？还会涨下去？
这是绝对的。
那我刚才问的那个问题就是2、3线城市，那政府照样也像一线城市这么控制呢？如果？
我认为不可能控制，因为为什么呢？就是说我们任何一个地方啊，它就是供求关系导致的，不是你控制越涨。我们看的这10几年来，就是因为中国的房地产跟国外的不一样，看不懂的是什么原因呢？就是有一支政府的手在调控它，那就调控的把面粉比面包贵，所以那涨才怪了。很多人以为每次调控以后，下次一定要跌的，其实调得越厉害，涨得越厉害。
大家听好了，也就是说，再这么调控下去，房价会继续涨，会继续秒光，是不是这意思？我的天哪！
调控本身就是一种保护，它把它涨幅多了以后，然后形成崩溃性。所以没有任何一个行业像房地产行业这么好过日子、好赚钱的，就是因为政府在保护。
越调控越保护，所以现在房价越来越涨，是吧？
就是这样的，就是这样的。
我本来应该接下去是沈总，但是我想先问一问啊，刚才说的都是黄金时代，我觉得其实是黄金时代，不是钻石时代啊。只有那个说是白银时代，只有那个赵总说是白银时代。赵总要不要改变一下自己观点，还是来阐述一下自己观点？
还是这样，刚才这个老刘啊讲的这个同学关系的问题，有种统计啊，可能他说统计是一家或者一个人多少平米，刚才听刘同学讲，其实现在这个大城市，比如说上海啊，大部分人，大部分人，他不是他的这个需求啊，不是按一套。因为这个人这个结构是这样，和这个比如说他父母有一套，而第二代呢，老少不同源呐，好多时候在一起太近了，一般家庭都会他的需求啊是完全第二套。还有现在你说的这个有很复杂的国家的整个经济发展，大家可是经济情况比以前好了很多。你比如说上海周边的房子为什么卖这么高？都不是没有房子住，而是为自己未来的这种养老度假休闲，为了提升生活质量，这样才是对。
那边买的启东啊，前面那边买的都是第二套、第三套。
对，他还有些未必是投资。真的就是一种为自己将来的这个若干年以后，和现在的父母去住，和自己的若干年以后去住，而且这个客观存在
我怎么听了，那是说房价还会涨？那接下来你们4个人达成统一战线，都是说房价会涨，对不对？刚才我想说，您说白银时代，那为什么说白银时代到来了？你跟他们3个人讲，这个我不问了，再问下去说房价还会涨。那说看来沈总是做公益的，对不对？那您是觉得现在的年轻人应该这个不用买房，靠公益靠养老来解决
我这次来主要的目的呢，是因为我刚进这个房地产相关的这个领域，是来向几位大佬的话学习来。因为我的角色变化也非常快，上次我参加夏季的这个亚布力的论坛，还是去郑州，还专门去参观了这个胡总的这个会所，对吧？那应该是3年以前了，对吧？然后我呢是在之前的话，这4年的时间是领英中国的总裁，做互联网的。然后呢，我是在6月30号辞职，然后加入蛋壳，做的这个蛋壳公寓的这个执行董事。
我看到你在微博上发了一个告别信。
是，花一个很短的时间给大家介绍一下，因为这个我是一个新人嘛。这个蛋壳的话，其实是我在2014年年底的时候，天使投资的这样一个团队。那这个团队主要的成员都是我之前创立的一个团购网站糯米网的成员。但那个时候租赁的话完全不火。但经过这个差不多2年多的发展，团队非常努力，所以我们发展非常快。2年多的时间，我们现在在北京、在深圳、上海，还有在杭州，持有了这个3万多、不到4万间的这个公寓，就是白领的长租的公寓。所以我们计划到年底之前的话，再进到武汉，再进到广州，再进到天津，争取在年底之前的话，达到一个8万间的一个规模，对吧？所以刚才几位讲的这个房地产的话，这个白金也好，白银也好，这个钻石也好，因为我是一个门外汉，不太懂，但我至少知道租赁这个行业的话，接下来进入一个黄金的时代，因为政府的话是支持我，对吧？这是我能看到的。当然，回到您刚才说的这个问题的话，对于这个年轻人的话，这年轻人的话，有的时候我们可能要换一个思维去看年轻人，对吧？所以年轻人也很纠结。一方面的话，就是说大家很多人买房，是因为很多人告诉他房价只会涨不会跌，所以没办法，他只能买。当然，另外的话，中国人的传统说必须要买房子、要结婚等等。但是我们看到这些90后的话，
我请教一下，您自己是买房的还是租房？
我自己是买房，但我在房子上不赚钱，我都是自住的，但我是买房。所以你看到蛋壳公寓的话，我们统计了一下的话，我们80%以上的用户是90后，对吧？然后90%以上的话是有大学本科以上学历的，所以素质还是非常高。但对于这些年轻人来讲的话，他同样的，比如说有几十万的话， 是买一个房子付一个头款，还是说我去旅游去看世界，还是说我去创业去投资？其实他们现在的想法的话，跟我们以前的人是不同的，是吧？所以另外的话，看到这个长租公寓为什么这几年的话比较火？它真的是满足了这些年轻人的需求。这个比如说我们提供的服务，我们给年轻人提供的房子是地铁沿线的，是吧？统一装修的，统一设计的，统一配好了家具的，各种风格的家具的，很漂亮的家具的，然后配好了床单，配好了什么拎包入住的。同时，我们还提供什么呢？免费的 WiFi 的服务，2周1次的保洁的服务，对吧？另外的话，你任何时候你的马桶坏了、灯泡坏了，你打个电话，我们的人上门维修。所以这样的增值服务对于很多年轻人来讲的话，慢慢的他会发现，哎，除了买房子之外，也许住在公寓是一个挺好的一个方式。然后最后的话，想跟大家分享一个数据，非常有意思的数据，对吧？你看到这个中国的话，就是说没有一个官方的数据，那大概有一个统计的数据，就是
Tặng sữa tắm Lifebuoy lá mùi muối lộc khi muốn Lifebuoy Detox.
Hôm nay mình muốn làm một cái clip về việc học tiếng Anh để mình có thể giao tiếp tốt và nói tốt một cách rất là tự tin. Và mình nghĩ các bạn rất là nên sử dụng công nghệ. Đó chính là cái phần mềm tên là Elsa.
Học với Elsa Speak thì được thực hành rất là nhiều, nhẹ hơn, phản xạ tốt hơn, tự tin hơn. Giá còn rẻ hơn cả một ổ mì không.
Thời đại công nghệ trí tuệ nhân tạo AI.
Elsa Speak là công cụ đắc lực cho người học tiếng Anh trong việc học nói, nghe, giao tiếp. Đến nay ứng dụng có gần 4 triệu người dùng.
Nghe được các bạn nói từng từ, từng âm một, phân tích là cái âm nào bạn sai và âm nào bạn đúng.
Phần mềm đã luyện và nó chấp nhận mình luôn, rất là tiện.
Elsa đã gọi vốn thành công với 7 triệu đô la Mỹ từ quỹ mạo hiểm chuyên đầu tư vào trí tuệ nhân tạo của
얘들아, 북투민 코리안 할인하는 거 알아? 진짜요?
Hi, I'm Hyunwoo from TalkToMeInKorean.com. Here's another quick Korean pronunciation guide video for you guys, for all the Korean learners out there. Hopefully by the end of this video, you will be able to understand Korean people a lot better and also sound more natural in Korean. So, there are many consonants that kind of sound similar to each other when you actually romanize them. So this is one reason, like we keep mentioning this fact that romanization is not so good. They're not really like accurate. But anyway, even after learning Hangul, even after knowing the proper sounds or like what they should sound like, it can be sometimes confusing to try to figure out what this sound actually represents. For example, when you hear things like ka, are you actually absolutely sure? Can you be sure that it was ka and not ka? So let me try to explain how to distinguish these sounds, similar sounds, and also how to practice pronouncing these sounds a little more naturally. For convenience, I will not refer to these consonants as using their actual names, okay? Using their actual Hangul names. I will just add the vowel a after that. So I will say things like ka, na, ta, ra, ma, pa, sa, okay? There are a few sets of similar sounding consonants. So the first set we can talk about is ka, ka, ga. Now you probably know what I'm talking about. Ka, ka, ga. These can sound very similar. So in traditional romanization, ka is romanized as ga, and ka is romanized as ka, and ga is romanized as kka, or sometimes in some books, gga. But how do you actually distinguish these three sounds? So ka is the most standard, the basic sound, ka, ka. It's somewhere between ga and ka, ka. So you base off of ka and then you make it a little bit more aspirated. So by that I mean you add a little bit more air and explosion. So ka, 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 ka. The pitch is right here, and you make it a little more high pitched. Ka, 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 ka. A little more air, okay? Ka, ka. And then I think the most confusing part for many Korean learners is the difference between ka and ga. Isn't that the case? Ka and ga. How do you actually pronounce these things differently? So ka is ka plus a little more air. Ga is a little higher in pitch and a little bit more explosive, and that becomes ga. So Of course you could, but there's not a good way to actually say ga in a very low pitch. So let me try that. Ga, ga. It sounds really awkward and I feel awkward. Ga, ga. It has to be ga, higher. Even somebody with a very deep voice will actually pronounce ga in a relatively high pitch. So ha, ka, ga. If you actually see these consonants, similar consonants in the concept of different pitches, things might get a little more clear. So ga, ka, ga. But even all this explanation might not work if you don't compare these actual letters side by side. So here's a little practice I've prepared.
The special life is where the ordinary becomes extraordinary. Every day is special with
Prepared for you.
Ka, 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 ga, ka, ga, ka, ga, ka, ga, ka, ga, ka, ga, ka, 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 ga, ga, ka, 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 ga, ka, ka, ga, 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 ka.
And using the same approach, we can look at the other sets. So let's look at na, ta, ta, and ta, and learn how to distinguish them when you actually pronounce them. So the difference between na and ta is that when you pronounce ta, you say it more abruptly. Na, ta. Na, ta. Na has a little more of a run-up into it, like na, but ta is very abrupt. Na, ta, na, ta. And the difference between ta and ta is more air. Ta, ta. You allow more air to escape your mouth. Ta, 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 ta. And as a result, the pitch will go a little higher. And now ta, this one is a result of adding more explosiveness and higher pitch to either ta or ta. Ta, ta, ta. Ta, ta, ta. Here's another exercise.
Na, na, ta, 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 da, da, ta, 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 da, ta, da, ta, da, na, na, ta, 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 타, 타, 따, 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 타.
And now to the remaining two sets of sa, cha, cha, cha or sa, and also ma, pa, pa, pa. The similar or the same approach can be applied. So basically everything is a matter of how much more air, how much more explosiveness, how much more high pitch is added to the previous step of the sound. So sa, cha, cha, cha or sa. So again, so there's not really many natural ways to say cha or sa in a low pitch, like cha. It's really unnatural. You could do it, it's unnatural. So I'm not saying that you must make it high pitched, but naturally, it's a natural outcome of trying to make those sounds. It's a little higher pitch. So if you're trying to say cha, but the other person doesn't understand you, try it at a higher pitch, and they might understand you a little better. Try with a little more explosiveness in your sound, like cha, cha, instead of making it sound softer, like cha, cha, cha. Okay? And it's the same with ma, pa, pa, pa. It goes up in pitch. So here are two more exercises using cha, 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 sa, and ma, pa, pa, pa. Here you go.
사, 차, 사, 차, 차, 차.
Hello, 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 hello. Phương Hà đã quay trở lại rồi đây.
Channel của Ninh Tito.
Thật ra ngày hôm nay rất là vui vì Ninh đang cùng với cả Phương Hà đi trên phố đi bộ cuối tuần. Và chúng mình vừa mới chụp được rất là nhiều bức ảnh đẹp bởi vì ngày hôm nay thì có cái triển lãm ở trên này. Tuy nhiên thì cũng đã đói rồi và Hà ơi hôm
차, 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 짜, 짜, 차, 차, 짜, 차, 차, 짜, 사, 싸, 짜, 사, 싸, 짜, 사, 사, 싸, 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 사, 차, 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 짜, 짜, 차, 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 짜, 마, 파, 마, 파, 마, 파, 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 파.
cô đơn đến thế, mưa rơi lách thách khi cuộc đời ai sâu trong ánh mắt tôi ngu ngơ mất thời gian dừng cho còn lại đây nhớ còn lại tôi với ai và giờ này em chắc đang ngủ say hay là em còn đang khóc một mình như làn sương ngổn ngang lạc trong đêm con tim em lạc trong đêm lòng phiêu du nhớ em mùa thu đã đi qua và đông kiếm em mùa đông kiếm
pa, ba, pa, ba, pa, ba, pa, ba, pa, ba, pa, ba, pa.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
Pa, pa, ba, ba, pa, ba, ba, pa, pa. Pa, ba.
Okay, so that was our little lesson, quick lesson on possibly similar sounding letters to Korean learners. But all this explanation will be meaningless unless you actually try to listen to a lot of stuff in Korean, listen to a lot of Korean people having conversations, and we have, as you know, a ton of listening materials on our site available, either through the Iyagi series or through many, many hundreds of videos that we've put out. So please visit our website at talktomekorean.com. And if you want to study with our textbooks and ebooks and audiobooks, please visit our online bookstore at mykoreanstore.com for awesome stuff. Thank you so much for studying with us and spreading the word about us. We will see you in the next video lesson. 감사합니다. Bye.
안녕하세요. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you like to watch more videos like this one, please subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and be sure to click the notification button as well to not miss any new videos.
Ta-da! After 3 months, I could understand about 80 to 90% the content of the English news without subtitles. Hello everyone, my name is Ha and I'm 24 years old. Now I'm working as promotion planner in Honda Vietnam. So today I want to share with you my experience in learning 3,500 words in 3 months without spending too much time and money. Before that, I was unable to use English in communication or remember new words. I couldn't speak nor listen to English. About my vocabulary, after 10 years learning English, it was still poor. At that time, I could learn new words very fast, about 10 to 20 new words per day, but it was all blew away right after. So it was really terrible. I wanted to improve my English, but I didn't have time to study in English, so it was still bad. And accidentally, I was introduced to English King. Here is English King, and it was really effective to me. Now I'll give you some of my review. Okay. Firstly, you will have a textbook like this. It's really nice, right? And with this colorful design, your learning will not be boring anymore. So you can learn about 36 topics with more than 3,000 common words in communication, and it's really helpful to you. Secondly, you will have an online account. You can learn on a mobile phone or laptop. It will help you to learn anywhere and anytime you want. Besides the online account, you will have a DVD like this. When your phone or your laptop cannot connect it to internet, don't worry, you can download all the lessons in this DVD so that you can learn it offline. I think the hardest things for us to learn by ourselves is that we don't have the mistake, right? So don't worry, with inbreaking you will have a very detailed checklist, right? And with daily checklist, you can know exactly and clearly what you should learn for a day, and with a very clear target, you can take with the thing that you have done. So I think it is the most powerful and the most interesting of inbreaking. With just 3 techniques: deep listening, catching up, and rapid response, you can learn vocabulary very effectively without wasting time to write down the new words or forcing yourself to remember them. If you want to get yourself better in English vocabulary and still save time, I highly recommend you to start with inbreaking.
I want to dye my hair green. Many of my friends have dyed their hair different colors. I don't mean normal hair colors like brown or black. My friends have dyed their hair orange, purple, and blue. I told my mother that I would like to dye my hair green. I explained to my mother that I would only use food coloring. The green would not last forever. My mother said that dyeing your hair was a silly fad. She said that I would not look good with green hair. I said that if I couldn't dye my hair green, maybe I could get a nose ring. My mother said no. I said that maybe a tattoo on my arm would be nice. My mother said, no way. My mother said that she did some crazy things when she was a young girl. She said that she used to iron her hair to make it straight. That sounds quite boring to me. My friend Joan came over. Her hair is dyed bright pink. My father said, nice hair, Joan. I don't think that he really meant it. My mother says that when I am an adult, I can dye my hair whatever crazy color I like. But for now, she would like me to leave my hair its natural color. I tried to tell her that all my friends were doing it. My mother asked, if all your friends were jumping off a cliff, would you do it too? I said, no. I think I'll have to wait to have green hair, but maybe by the time I'm old enough to dye my hair green, I won't want it that color. My mother says that fads change all the time. One day, something might be popular, and the next day it's not in style at all. I'll just have to live without green hair for now. I wonder what the fad will be next month. Why do people dislike other people? Some people don't like other people just because they look different. I think that is silly. I don't think that it is fair to judge someone by the way they look. Some people look very nice, but they are mean or cruel. Some people look very ordinary, but they are incredibly nice. I remember when I was in grade 1, I saw a girl across the room. She had a mean look on her face. I thought to myself that she was probably not a very nice person. I stayed away from her and played with the other children. Then we had to play a game, and the teacher said that she would pick partners for us. The teacher picked the girl with the mean face as my partner. I didn't think that the game would be much fun at all with a partner who seemed as mean as that girl. I walked up to her and said hello. The girl's face changed. She smiled at me, and she began to talk to me. Her mean face disappeared. We had lots of fun playing the game. We laughed a lot and enjoyed each other's company. That girl became my best friend. Now, when I look at her, I see what is inside her. Sometimes she doesn't smile, but I know what she is like. She is a kind and funny person. I have learned that you can't judge a book by its cover. It is not fair to dislike someone just because they don't look like you want them to look. You have to get to know a person. It doesn't matter to me what color a person's skin is. It doesn't matter to me if they are short or tall, skinny or fat, or happy or sad looking. I judge people by how they treat me, and I try to treat people like I would want to be treated. The birthday gift. It is going to be my father's birthday. What can I give him? I don't have much money. I have looked all through the stores, and I have not found anything that I think he would like or that I can afford. I have thought very hard about what to buy for him. I thought that he might like some candy, but my father really doesn't eat many sweets. I thought that he might like a new shirt, but he has lots of clothes. I can't afford a new car or computer for him. I was watching him on the weekend. He cut the grass, washed the car, took out the garbage, weeded the garden, and watered the plants. I got an idea. I went to my room and took out some paper. I cut out pieces of paper and I wrote on them. I wrote on one piece of paper that I would wash the car every weekend for the summer. I wrote on another piece that I would take out the garbage every week for the summer. I also wrote that I would cut the grass, weed the garden, and water the plants every week for the summer. I made a birthday card for my dad, and I put the pieces of paper inside it. I went downstairs and gave my gift to my dad. My dad thought that the gift was very thoughtful. He said that it was a gift from the heart. I did all those things for my dad all summer. He said that he had a lot of free time because I helped him so much. My dad and I are good friends. I don't mind doing things for him because I know that he is always there to help me out. A good gift doesn't have to be something that costs a lot. My dad says that the best gifts are the ones that show how much you care for the other person. I'm glad my dad liked his gift. New Year's Day. On New Year's Day, people start a new year. Many people make resolutions. They resolve to be better people. Some people decide that they will lose weight so that they can be healthier. Some people decide to give up smoking. They also want to be healthier. There are all kinds of resolutions that people make. Some people try not to lose their tempers. Some people say that they will work harder. There are people who try to give up bad habits. Every year, my brother says that he will stop biting his nails. He stops biting his nails in January, but by February, he always starts again. That is the thing about New Year's resolutions. People seldom keep them. Everybody starts out with good intentions, but it is very hard to stick with them. I don't make New Year's resolutions. I find that I just break them. I just work day by day to break my bad habits. I know that I eat too many sweets. Every day, I just try to resist them. I think that every day is a new day, regardless of whether it is New Year's Day or not. Bad habits are hard to break. The best thing is never to start any bad habits. I don't know if my brother will ever stop biting his nails, but I know that each January he intends to stop. Maybe one of these New Year's days, he'll get over that habit. If I could fly. I sometimes imagine what it would be like if I could fly like a bird. Just imagine what it would be like to soar into the sky, flying high above the trees. You could stand on high rooftops and never be afraid of falling. You would see so many things as you flew over rooftops and forests. You would feel incredibly free as you traveled from place to place, not bothered by road signs or traffic jams. If I could fly like a bird, I would start from my backyard and travel through town. I would look down on the houses and factories. When I got tired, I would land in a field and take a nap. I would travel above rivers and follow them as they wound along and emptied into lakes and oceans. I would fly above parks, and I would call out to the children as I flew high above them. I would dip and dive as I flew. I would soar up high and dive down low so that I could almost touch the treetops. Have you ever flown? I know that you can't fly like a bird, but you might have taken an airplane ride. When you're in an airplane, you pass through clouds. It is exciting to take an airplane ride. I love taking airplane flights. I like to look down at the earth. When you're up that high, everything below you looks tiny. That's the closest I'll get to flying like a bird. But I can still use my imagination and spread my wings and soar high above the world just like a bird. What I look for in a friend. What is it that makes somebody your friend? Some people are nice and you have fun with them. Some people are nice to talk to, but they don't become special to you. Some people become very close to you. Those people are the ones who become your good friends. Did you ever wonder why certain people do become your good friends? Friends usually have something in common. Often, friends enjoy doing the same things as each other. Maybe they like the same sports or the same music. Or maybe they can even talk about problems or schoolwork. Friends usually find a common bond. Friends share ideas and listen to each other. Sometimes, people who don't have similar interests even become friends. You can learn a lot from a person who likes different things than you. The most important thing about friends is that they must communicate with each other. A good friend is a person who takes the time to listen to the other person. One of the most important things that I think a friend should have is a sense of humor. I like to laugh with my friends. I like to feel comfortable around my friends. It is nice to be able to talk and laugh with people who have similar interests. It is nice to share things with people and learn about their interests. You become a better person if you are able to learn things from others. Life is a journey. On that journey, you meet many people. Some of those people will change your life. You have to choose your friends with care. A good friend is worth more than all the gold in the world. A good friend will make your journey through life more pleasant. Make friends along the way, and the path through life will be very rewarding. A funny thing happened on the way to school. Last Friday it was very windy. I was walking down the street with my friend John. We were having a difficult time walking against the wind. The wind was pushing against us, and we felt the force of it pressing against us. We even had a hard time breathing. We were walking slowly. We watched the leaves as they danced and twirled in the wind. We watched a plastic bag as it flew by us. We saw a little boy whose baseball cap flew right off his head. His cap flew along the sidewalk, and he had to chase it. He finally caught it, and he held it in his hands tightly after he got it back. The trees were swaying frantically. Their branches swished and waved in the wild wind. John and I were hit by flying bits of paper and leaves. We laughed when a garbage can lid rolled along and hit John in the leg. We saw another garbage can rolling along the road as if it was alive. Everything was moving because of the wind. Then the funniest thing happened. I wasn't paying any attention, and a paper bag came flying up the street toward us. It hit me right in the face and covered my whole face. At first, I didn't know what had happened. I was blinded. I couldn't see where I was going. I stopped and held out my hands. When I stopped, the bag fell off my face. I looked at John. He was laughing very hard. He was laughing so hard that tears were rolling down his cheeks. He said that I looked very funny with the brown paper bag stuck to my face. I started to laugh too. We laughed about it all the way to school. John said that he wished he had a camera. He would have taken a picture of me with the bag on my face. Advice. Sometimes my mother gives me advice. She tells me to save my money for a rainy day. She says that I should eat my vegetables if I want to be strong when I grow up. She says that you reap what you sow. I didn't know what that one meant, so I asked her. She said that if you are good to people, they will be good to you. If you do bad things, then bad things will come back to you. My mother is always giving me advice. She says that a penny saved is a penny earned. I am still thinking about that one. Some of these things are difficult to understand. My mother is very wise. She says that she has learned from her mistakes. She tells me that she would like me not to make mistakes, but she says that everyone does make mistakes. The important thing is that we learn from our mistakes. My mother says that nobody is perfect. My mother tells my sister that time is precious. My sister wastes time, and my mother doesn't like that. My mother tells me to be true to myself.
The special life is where the ordinary becomes extraordinary. Every day is special with liberty.
Khi được hỏi về dấu ấn đáng nhớ nhất trong sự nghiệp lẫy lừng của mình, tỷ phú giàu nhất Trung Quốc,
She says that I should not follow the crowd. I should listen to my own conscience and do what I think is right. She says that it doesn't matter if you fail at something. The important thing is that you try. If you've done your best, then that is all that matters. I listen to my mother. I think she gives very good advice. My mother has a lot of common sense. I hope I am as wise as she is when I have children of my own. Sometimes I wish that she would not give me so much advice. I think that I know what I'm doing. But in the end, I always remember what she has said, and I try to live by the standards that she has set for me. Take the advice that your parents give you. They only have your best interests at heart. A trip to the hospital. I have to get my tonsils out. I'm not really happy about it, but I'm tired of being sick and having sore throats. I have to go to the hospital 2 hours before my surgery. My mother will go with me. The nurses will take my temperature and check my blood pressure. They will make sure that I am ready for my operation. I will be dressed in a white gown and I will be wheeled down the hall to the operating room. I can't have anything to eat or drink for a long time before my surgery. My mother will walk down the hall with me. Then she will wave goodbye as they wheel me into the operating room. The doctor and the nurses will be busy in the operating room. They will be getting ready to perform my surgery. The doctor will say hello to me and tell me that he is going to put me to sleep. He will put something into my arm. He will tell me to count backwards from 10. I think that I will only say 10, 9, and then I will be fast asleep. I won't be awake for the surgery. When I wake up, I will be surprised that the surgery is over. My throat will hurt and I probably won't feel very good. My mother will be there with me. The nurses will give me a drink and try to make me comfortable. I won't be in the hospital overnight. I will go home later in the day. My parents will have to make sure that I have a lot to drink. I can't eat any hard foods or they will hurt my throat. I will sleep a lot because I will not feel very well for a couple of days. It won't take long before I recover from my surgery. Sometimes we need surgery to make us feel better. Hospitals can be a bit frightening, but the doctors and nurses are very nice and their job is to make you better. What my cat did. One day I was sitting in a chair drinking a cup of tea. My cat came into the room and sat on my lap. She was quite content and she sat there purring. My cat likes to drink water and sometimes she drinks milk. I would never give her tea to drink. Cats just don't drink tea. We were sitting there quietly when suddenly my cat stood up. She was looking at something on the floor. She crouched down low and got ready to pounce. I saw what she was looking at. It was a huge centipede. I think that centipedes are ugly. They have many legs and they move very fast. I would hate to have one crawl over me. My cat jumped to the floor and she ran over to the centipede. She was incredibly fast. I was surprised that she caught the centipede. She put her paw on it, and then she reached down and ate the centipede. The centipede must not have tasted very good. My cat got a funny look on her face, and she looked like she was trying to get a bad taste out of her mouth. I was thinking that I would be sick if I ate a centipede. My cat looked at me and jumped back up in my chair. She stuck her face in my teacup and took a big drink of tea. I was shocked. I had never seen a cat drink tea before. I think that the centipede must have tasted so bad that my cat just needed something to wash the taste out of her mouth. Guess what? I didn't finish my tea. I threw it out and washed out the cup. My cat has never had a drink of tea since that day. She has also never eaten another centipede. If a centipede walks by, she just pretends that she doesn't see it. If I was tiny. Imagine what life would be like if you were 2 inches tall. You would have to be careful that nobody stepped on you. You would have to watch out for cats, dogs, and birds. It would be very dangerous, but just think of the things that you could do. You could live in a dollhouse or even a shoebox. You could use a bottle cap for a plate. You would have to wear doll's clothes. A stamp would make a lovely picture to hang on your wall. You could hide in a mouse hole or a drawer. You wouldn't need much food. You could probably live comfortably on the crumbs that people would leave on the table. A thimble would make a good cup. If you went outside, the grass would seem like a jungle. An insect would be huge and frightening. A puddle would seem to be an ocean. You could cross the puddle in a paper cup and use a spoon or an oar. A matchbox would make a good bed with a handkerchief as a bedspread. You'd brush your hair with a toothbrush, but you'd never find anything small enough to brush your teeth with. You could take a ride on the back of a mouse. You wouldn't find any books that were small enough to read, but you might read the back of a pill bottle. You could ride in a toy car and have a soup bowl for a swimming pool. A leaf could be your umbrella, and a mitten would make a great sleeping bag. If you used your imagination, you could think up something to use for almost all your purposes. Being small might be fun, but then again it would be frightening. I'd be afraid of my pet cat. I wouldn't want a book to fall on me. I would be afraid of being swept away by a big gust of wind. I think I'd rather be my size. If I were a giant. If I were a giant, I wouldn't be able to fit in my house. I'd have to live in a building that had a high ceiling, but I'd probably have a hard time getting through the door. I'd have to make my own clothes, but where would I get a giant needle and thread to sew with? I couldn't ride in a car or a plane. I suppose I would just have to take giant steps to get from place to place. I would have to be very careful not to step on anybody or anything. When I talked, people would cover their ears. My voice would sound very...
Trà sen vàng mới, thêm xinh mùi, mát ô long.
Trung Quốc国际进口博览会不仅要年年办下去，而且要办出水平，办出成效，越办越好。
Chinese President Xi Jinping has attended the opening ceremony of the CRIE and delivered a keynote speech for 2 consecutive years.
中国有近14亿人口，中等收入群体规模全球最大，市场规模巨大，潜力巨大。 前景不可限量。中国老百姓有一句话，叫做“世界这么大，我想去看看”。在这里，我要说，中国市场这么大， 欢迎大家都来看看。
With the world's largest population, China is the second largest economy as well as the second largest importer of goods and services globally. Its total imports of goods and services are expected to exceed $30 trillion and $10 trillion respectively in 15 years from 2018. China is making further efforts to open up its market, lower tariffs, improve customs clearance, and strengthen the protection of intellectual property. These substantive measures are accelerating the release of unlimited potential of the Chinese market. The CIE consists of the Country Exhibition, the Enterprise and Business Exhibition, and the Hongqiao International Economic Forum. Various supporting activities are held on the sidelines of the expo by ministries and commissions of the State Council, such as industry seminars, trade report releases, and new product launches, including 12 policy interpretations held by ministries and commissions of the State Council. The second CIE attracted 181 countries, regions, and international organizations. More than 3,800 enterprises participated in the Enterprise and Business Exhibition, and over 250 of them are Fortune Global 500 enterprises or industrial leaders. The launch of new products, technologies, or services across the globe or in the Chinese mainland totaled 391. More than 500,000 professional buyers from China and other countries held business talks or placed orders at the expo. The area of the exhibition halls totaled 360,000 square meters. The second CIE concluded with $71.13 billion worth of tentative deals for one-year purchases of goods and services, up 23% from that of last year.
The CIE benefits our business because it can increase our trade from New Zealand to the China market.
CIE is a wonderful event. It has the best that the world can bring to China. We have very high expectations that we're going to develop a wonderful business.
The third China International Import Expo will be held in Shanghai from November 5th to 10th, 2020. The third Enterprise and Business Exhibition will be divided into 4 themed parts: the Intelligent Industry and Information Technology, the Consumer Goods and Intelligent Life, the Food and Agriculture Products, and the Services and Health. 6 exhibition halls will be set up, including the Trade and Services Hall, the Automobile Hall, the Consumer Goods Hall, the Intelligent Industry and Information Technology Hall, the Medical Equipment and Healthcare Products Hall, and the Food and Agriculture Products Hall. The Trade and Services Hall covers production services and life services, such as financial services and logistics services. The Automobile Hall encompasses whole vehicles, auto parts and components, auto electronics, auto accessories, automatic drive products and technologies, and intelligent travel products and technologies. The Intelligent Industry and Information Technology Hall includes equipment for industrial automation, high-end machinery manufacturing, manufactured goods, and energy conservation and environmental protection. The Consumer Goods Hall covers beauty and cosmetics, consumer chemicals, household goods, intelligent life and home appliances, fashion trends, and works of art. The Medical Equipment and Healthcare Products Hall covers drugs, medical devices, senior care and rehabilitation, medical cosmetology, medical technologies, and services. The Food and Agriculture Products Hall houses beverage and alcohol, snack foods, dairy products, vegetables, fruit and agricultural products, meat, aquatic products, and frozen food. For exhibitors promoting their products or services in the 6 exhibition halls, the CIE will be a window to learn about the real needs of the Chinese market, a channel to enter its various segments, and a lever to pry open huge business opportunities that it has to offer. The China International Import Expo is designed to trade goods and services, exchange culture and ideas, welcome visitors from across the globe, benefit the whole world, and respond to the aspirations of people from various countries to live a better life. We sincerely invite heads of state and government, business communities, exhibitors, and professional buyers across the world to participate in the 3rd China International Import Expo.
Loud to them. I wouldn't find shoes to cover my feet. I wouldn't find a knife and fork to eat my dinner with. I might have to use a rake as a fork. My dinner would be huge. What would I cook my dinner in? I certainly wouldn't find an oven big enough to put my dinner in. If I sneezed, it would be like a hurricane. If I fell down, it would be like an earthquake. I wouldn't have any friends because everyone would be too tiny for me to talk to. I think that being a giant would be very lonely. I couldn't have just one apple. I would have to have a lot of apples to fill me up. I would have to drink gallons and gallons of water to quench my thirst. I could never relax under a tree. I would be taller than all the trees. I don't think that being a giant would be fun. I won't ever make a wish to be a giant. I would rather be my height. I'm very happy the way I am. And
do people have the right to smoke in public?
I never compromise.
My father used to smoke. He got very ill. The doctor told him that he had to quit smoking. My father tried for a long time to quit. It was very difficult for him. Smoking is an addiction. After many months, my father finally gave up smoking, but he still craved a cigarette once in a while. He says that quitting smoking is the hardest thing that he has ever done. When my father did smoke, he smoked everywhere. He smoked in restaurants, stores, and many public buildings. Now, you are not allowed to smoke in a lot of public places. When my father smoked, the rules were not so strict. People could smoke just about anywhere. It really wasn't fair to the people who didn't smoke. Their clothes always smelled like smoke, and they breathed in second-hand smoke. Some people think that the second-hand smoke is actually worse for you than if you smoke yourself. People would smoke in their houses, and very young children would inhale the smoke that was in the air. Some people still smoke in their houses, and their children breathe in the smoke. Some restaurants have areas for smokers and non-smokers, but usually the smoke drifts from one area to the other. There are some businesses that have banned smoking altogether. Personally, I think that smoking in public places should be completely banned. I don't think that I should have to breathe in another person's smoke if I choose not to smoke myself. It wouldn't be fair for a non-smoker to get lung cancer because they had to be in a place where smokers were allowed to light up.
Fools pledge life to honor.
I know that smoking is a powerful addiction and that it is very difficult to quit, but smokers should restrict their smoking to places where there is nobody else around. Lung cancer is an awful disease. Nobody should have to suffer with lung cancer. People should be educated about the dangers of smoking. Smoking should be banned in public places, but eventually I would like to believe that fewer people will smoke. It would be nice to live in a smoke-free environment. My favorite bedtime story. Every night when I was little, my mother would read me a bedtime story. My favorite story was Tom's Midnight Garden. This was a story by Philippa Pierce. It was quite a long book, and it took quite a few nights for my mother to read the entire book to me. In Tom's Midnight Garden, Tom moves to the city to stay with his aunt and uncle. He is very bored at their apartment.
Turret plating will soon fall.
They have no children, so Tom has nothing to do. One night, the clock strikes 13 times. Tom knows that this is impossible. A clock can only strike up to 12 times. He sneaks downstairs and goes outside. When he goes outside, there is a wonderful garden that wasn't there the day before. The next day, Tom goes outside and finds there is no garden. The garden only seems to appear at night. Every night, Tom slips out to this wonderful garden and meets some people in the garden. He meets a girl named Hattie. Hattie and Tom become very good friends in this garden. Some very strange things happen in this book. There are some coincidences that keep you guessing about what is really going on. The surprise ending is wonderful. I really enjoyed Tom's Midnight Garden, and I was very sad when my mother and I came to the end of the book. I felt that I had visited the magical garden with Tom. It is a book that I will remember all my life. If I found a magic lamp. If I was walking down the beach one day and I happened to bump my toe on a magic lamp, I would pick it up and rub it. If it was a real magic lamp, but I don't believe that there really is a magic lamp, a genie would pop out in a cloud of smoke and he would call me Master. He would say that he would grant me 3 wishes. I would have to think very hard about those wishes because I wouldn't want to waste them. I don't think I'd want millions of dollars. Money doesn't buy happiness, or so they say. I might wish for good health because if your health isn't good, you won't be able to enjoy anything. Some people might wish for beauty, but beauty is only skin deep. Some people would wish for a mansion or a beautiful car or a big boat. I don't want any of those things. Some people would want fame. Some people would want talent. Some people would wish for happiness. That might be a good thing to wish for. Yes, maybe I'd wish for health and happiness. But what would my third wish be? I could wish for something enormous, something global. I could wish for world peace. That would be a wonderful thing if somebody could grant me that. Yes, that would probably be my third wish. It's too bad there aren't any genies inside magic lamps. I won't get my 3 wishes. I can still work toward getting my wishes. I can eat well and exercise to stay healthy. I can be involved with a lot of things and be with my friends to stay happy. I can volunteer my time to different organizations to help achieve world peace. I can do my fair share in my community to help others. That's how I can get my 3 wishes, not through a magic lamp. I can only get what I want through self-determination and hard work. That is the key to getting your wishes fulfilled. Superstitions. I am not superstitious, are you? Yesterday was Friday the 13th. Some people think that Friday the 13th is an unlucky day. I think that it is just like any other day. Some people believe that if a black cat crosses your path, you will have bad luck. I don't believe that either. My mother always gets upset if I open an umbrella in the house. She says that is bad luck. She is probably right about that one because an open umbrella would take up a lot of space and you might knock things over, If your left hand is itchy, you are supposed to get money. I have had an itchy left hand before, but I haven't received any money because of it. It is bad luck to walk under a ladder. That is probably true, because you might knock somebody off the ladder or have a can of paint fall on top of you. If you are acting in a play, it is bad luck if someone says, "Good luck" to you. This is very confusing. You are supposed to tell an actor to break a leg. It doesn't mean that you want the actor to break his leg. It means good luck to the actor. Actors have a lot of superstitions that are very unusual. I am not superstitious. I don't believe in superstitions at all. It is just fun to learn about superstitions. Some of them are very old and have been passed down from generation to generation. I once did a project at school on superstitions. It was a very interesting topic, and I got a good mark for it. Help. Did you ever have to call for help? Were you ever in a situation that was an emergency? It is good to know what to do in case of an emergency. You should always know how to get in touch with the police and fire departments. I have read stories where very young boys or girls have called the police and saved their friends or family members' lives because they knew just who to get a hold of. If you see a fire, you should call the fire department. A lot of tragedies have been prevented because the calls have been made quickly. It is important that emergency vehicles arrive very quickly. That is why those vehicles have sirens. When their sirens go, it means to get out of the way. Policemen, firemen, and ambulance attendants are trained to handle very difficult situations. They often save people's lives. They go through a lot of training to become good at what they do. They never panic in emergencies. For your part, you should keep emergency numbers near the phone or know what the emergency numbers are. Where I live, there is a special number that you call for any emergency. We teach that number to everyone, even very tiny children. It is important to remain calm if you need help. If you call an emergency number, you have to be able to speak clearly and tell the person you are talking to exactly what the problem is. I hope you are never in an emergency situation, but it is a good idea to be prepared. The peach orchard. When I was very young, I lived near a peach orchard. Now, there is a park where the orchard used to be. I always remember the peach orchard because my grandmother and I used to go there and pick peaches. The owner of the orchard would let all the neighbors pick peaches. It's not the fact that I used to get many ripe, tasty peaches that I remember. It's the time that I used to spend with my grandmother that I remember. My grandmother was very old, but she was very healthy. She used to walk a lot. I think that is what kept her fit. She had a lot of energy, so she liked to go to a lot of places. She would get a fruit basket, and then she would ask me if I wanted to go to the orchard. I always said yes because I enjoyed walking through the orchard on a sunny day. We never climbed up on a ladder to reach the peaches. We just reached for the low-hanging fruit. My grandmother and I used to talk all the time that we were out there. It was nice to spend time with her.
Energy in its most beautiful form. Soul electrified, the new Taycan.
her. She told me many stories about when she was a young girl. We laughed and got to know each other better. My grandmother only visited us during the summer. She lived in California and I lived in Niagara Falls, so we didn't get to spend a lot of time with each other. We enjoyed the hot summer days in the orchard. You could smell the peaches, and the bees buzzed lazily by us. My grandmother would point out different insects and birds to me. I learned a lot about nature from her. We would end up with a big basket of peaches. When we got home, my mother would wash the peaches, and often she would bake a peach pie for us. Nobody bakes a peach pie like my mother. It's good to have memories like that.
No cure for fools.
Childhood memories of time spent with my grandmother are very precious to me. Sometimes it's just the simple things that you do in life that leave you with the nicest memories. Learning to dance. I went to England with my mother. She used to be a singer in a band. We went to the hotel that she used to sing at. It was a big, fancy hotel. Some of the people that she knew when she sang in the band were still there. They remembered my mother, and they had a good time talking to her and remembering old times. Many people told me that I looked like my mother. In the hotel, they had a fancy hall where they had ballroom dancing. I am not used to that kind of dancing. I always danced to rock music. A man told me that he would teach me how to dance. It looked very easy. I held one of his hands and put my other hand on his shoulder. He told me exactly how to move my feet. I was very clumsy and I stepped on his toes. He was patient with me and he counted 1, 2, 3. I tried to waltz with him. I would start out pretty well, but then I would get mixed up and stand on his toes again. The man laughed about it. I told him that I wasn't a very good dancer, but he said that I was good for a beginner. I think he was just being polite. The man asked my mother to dance. My mother is a very good dancer. I didn't know that about her. She never stepped on the man's toes once. The man thanked us for dancing with him, and I thanked him for giving me dancing lessons. I don't think I'll ever be very good at that type of dancing. Each generation has a specific type of dancing. The way that I dance is different from the way that my mother dances. The way that I dance doesn't involve moving your feet too much. I'm not too good at fancy steps. Superheroes. When my brother was very young, he loved superheroes. He collected plastic figures of all the superheroes. I think he had every superhero figurine that there was. He used to tie a towel over his shoulders and run through the backyard. He pretended that he was rescuing people. One time, he stood on the roof. He really thought that he could fly with his superhero cape on. He would have hurt himself if he had jumped. My dad saw him and told him to get down. My dad explained to my brother that superheroes are not real. Real people cannot fly from rooftops. My brother was disappointed. He thought that the superheroes really existed. My dad explained that most superheroes were created as comic book characters. Somebody used their imagination to make them up, and then an artist drew them. My brother was not impressed. He said that he wanted to meet the superheroes. My father told him that he might meet someone dressed up as a superhero, but it wouldn't really be a superhero in the costume. It is hard to explain to small children that the things that they see in comic books and on television aren't really real. My brother still pretends that he is a superhero. He doesn't jump from rooftops, but he runs around and makes noises like he is flying. I look at him and remember when I used to do things like that. I'm more mature than my brother. I know that superheroes aren't real, but I know that he is having fun and using his imagination.
Being a princess. Sometimes I think that I would like to be a princess. A princess would live in a palace and wear beautiful clothes. She would have servants to do chores for her, and she would probably marry a handsome prince. People would recognize her. They would wave to her as she drove by. It seems like it would be a lot of fun to be a princess. But maybe it wouldn't be so nice. Maybe it would be terrible to be recognized by everyone. Maybe a princess would feel like everyone was watching her. She would have to look nice every time she left the palace. There would always be people with cameras who wanted to take her picture. A princess would have no privacy. Even in her own palace, there would be servants around, so she would never really be alone. If I were a princess, I would worry about security for my family. Sometimes, people who are in high positions are threatened by other people. That would be a worry. I'm not so sure that being a princess would be all that much fun. I think it might be better to be just a normal person like me. I don't have to worry about looking wonderful all the time. People don't follow me around and take my picture. Whenever you see a picture of a princess, she is smiling. I wonder if she's smiling on the inside, or just smiling for the camera. My worst fear. I am afraid of water. I don't know why I am afraid. I have never had a bad experience in the water. I just never learned to swim. I should have done that when I was just little. It would be easier for me to swim now if I had started when I was young. I will go into the shallow water, but I start to panic when the water gets higher than my chest. I don't like the feeling of not being able to put my feet on the bottom of the pool or the lake. I don't like to get water up my nose. I choke and cough when that happens. My friends just tell me to relax and I will float, but I find it hard to relax in deep water. They keep telling me that if I panic, I will sink. Most of my friends have had swimming lessons. Some of them are even lifeguards. They have tried to teach me to swim, but I think I need to go to a place where they actually teach swimming. It would be nice to jump into a pool of cold water on a hot summer day. That would be so refreshing. If I go out onto a boat, I always wear a life jacket. I think it is wise to do that. Everyone should wear a life jacket on a boat. I would rather be safe than sorry. I have decided that I will overcome my fear. I will go and take swimming lessons. I have a goal. By this time next year, I would like to be able to swim the length of the pool without being afraid. It is best to face your fears and deal with them. I hope that I can overcome my fear of water. If I live to be 100. I think I would like to live to be 100. It seems like an awfully long time to live. It is an entire century. Imagine all the changes that you would see if you lived to be 100. I had a neighbor who was 85. She used to tell me what things were like when she was a little girl. She told me what my town used to look like, what her clothes were like, and what her school was like. I used to enjoy listening to her stories. Everything was so different when she was young. Listening to her was like having history come to life. I used to try to imagine what life was like for her back then. If I was 100, and I had grandchildren and great-grandchildren, I would tell them stories about my childhood. I would hope that I had a good memory so that I could remember everything. If I do want to live to 100, I'll have to have a healthy lifestyle. Not too many people live to be that old. If I do get to be that old, I hope I'll still be mentally alert and physically agile. In my country, the Prime Minister sends a letter of congratulations to anyone who has their 100th birthday. People who live to be 100 are very special. Maybe in the future, with better medical care and healthier lifestyles, more people will live to be 100. If I live to be 100, I'll have a birthday cake. But I won't put 100 candles on the cake. I could never blow out 100 candles. What I like most and least about myself. I was trying to think up the best and the worst things about myself. I think the best thing about me is that I am very friendly. I have a lot of friends, and they all like me. I try to be good to my friends. I don't often have arguments with people. I think that I am quite easy to get along with. The worst thing about me is that I sometimes feel sad. Sometimes I don't feel sad for any particular reason. I just get into moods where I am depressed. Sometimes there is a reason to be sad. I was sad when my pet frog died. I was sad when I lost my favorite baseball card. On those days, I'm still nice to my friends, but inside I feel like there is a heavy weight in my chest. I think that everyone feels sadness sometimes. I try to do things that make me happy whenever I get into one of my sad moods. Last Saturday, I felt a bit sad, so I called up my friend John and asked him if he wanted to go to the movies. We went to a comedy. We laughed all the way through the movie, so that by the time the movie was over, I didn't feel sad anymore. My friendliness is my best trait, and my sad moods are my worst traits. I have to work at getting over my sad moods more quickly. Being sad doesn't do anyone any good. There is no use in feeling sorry for oneself. The trunk in the attic. Last month, my grandmother asked me if I could help her to clean out her attic. I was happy that she asked me. My grandmother says that her attic is full of junk. I think that her attic is full of treasures. I helped her to dust and vacuum the attic. I pulled and pushed around boxes and crates. I helped her to wash the floors and walls. My favorite thing that I did was to sort through the old trunk that she had up there. The trunk had a rusty latch on it. It was a bit difficult to open, but my grandmother got a knife and pried the latch open. The trunk was full of all kinds of things. There were lots of clothes. Some of the clothes had been my grandmother's. There was a blue velvet dress that she had worn to a dance when she and my grandfather were dating. It was a beautiful dress, but there were a few moth holes in it. There were some of my mother's old clothes. There was a pair of bell-bottom slacks that had bright flowers on it. I couldn't believe that my mother had ever worn something like that. There were some of my mother's old report cards. Some of her marks weren't very good. I had fun reading the report cards. There were photographs. There was a picture of my grandparents holding my mother when she was a baby. There was an old baseball glove that one of my uncles had owned. There was even one of my old dolls in there. One of her legs was missing. My grandmother said that I was rough on my dolls when I was little. I should have taken better care of my toys. There was even some old jewelry. I tried on some of the old clothes and jewelry. I told my grandmother that I liked looking through old things. My grandmother told me to keep whatever I wanted. She said that it was all junk. I still say that her trunk was full of treasures. Hot and cold. I notice that whenever it is summer, people complain about the heat. But whenever it is winter, people complain about the cold. It seems that people are never satisfied. I don't like the winter. It is usually much too cold for me. My teeth chatter and my fingers turn numb whenever the weather gets cold. It is hard for me to warm up once I start to freeze. I try to wear layers of clothes, but winter winds go through my clothes no matter how much I wear. My feet feel like they are blocks of ice on a cold January day when I walk home from school. I would not like to live in a place that had cold climate all year long. I am not comfortable when it is too cold. I like the summer. Some people say that it is hot and sticky in the summer, but I don't mind the heat at all. I love to feel the warm sunshine on my skin. I like the freedom of not having to wear heavy coats and boots. I am the happiest when there is a slightly cool breeze that comes along to refresh you on a hot summer day. I could live in a place with a hot climate. I would enjoy that. Of course, when you are in a place with a hot climate, there are more bugs than in places with cooler climates. I don't care for bugs. Where I live, it is very humid. The heat and moisture combine to make it uncomfortable sometimes. It is nicer when the heat is high, but the humidity is low. It would be better if I lived somewhere where it was hot, but not humid. That would be just perfect. Walk a mile in my shoes. Have you ever heard the saying, walk a mile in my shoes? I think it's a very good saying. Do you know what it means? It means that before you judge someone, you should put yourself in his or her position. For example, if someone was running in a race and they did very poorly and came in last, it wouldn't be fair to say, oh, he's just a terrible runner. You would have to look at all the circumstances that made the person lose the race. Maybe they pulled a muscle in their leg the day before. Maybe this is their very first race. Maybe they are not in good form because something isn't right in their lives. There can be so many things that affect a person's life, performance, and moods. There can be so many things that affect a person's life, performance, and moods. If someone was very quiet at a party, you couldn't just assume that they weren't friendly. You don't know what is happening in their lives. They could be feeling ill, or they might have just had a bad experience. Nobody can know exactly how another person feels. Even if someone tells you what he or she is experiencing, you still won't fully understand what is going on inside the other person. Everyone perceives and feels things differently. To walk a mile in someone else's shoes is to try and understand things from that person's perspective. We are all shaped by the events that have taken place in our lives. No two people have gone through the exact same things. So, before you are quick to judge someone, stop and think about what it is that they might have gone through. You won't always understand why people do what they do, but you can try to understand and put yourself in their position. If I could go back in my life and do some things differently, this is what I would do. I would not waste so many hours in front of the television set. I would get out and enjoy my life rather than watching actors in shows. I would be a little more considerate of other people. I would realize that my mother has more to do than pick up after me. I would pay more attention in school. Tests are easier when you have paid attention rather than fooling around in class. I would save more money rather than spend it on useless things. I would read more. Reading is enjoyable, and it opens the doors into all kinds of wonderful places, both real and imagined. I would learn to play an instrument. Music is always appreciated if it is played well. I would eat better food. I would try to stay healthy through my diet and exercise. I would take more pictures, and I would keep a journal. Memories are very precious. I would take the time to listen to what people have to say. People appreciate a good listener. I would take the time to enjoy each day as it comes. Sometimes I am so busy looking forward to what is coming up that I don't take the time to enjoy the day that I am living in. That's what I would do if I could go back in my life. In fact, I think I'll just make a habit of doing all of those things all through my life. Joking. Joking is good. Jokes can be very funny. Jokes can also be hurtful. Jokes can be tasteless too. It is not an easy thing to find jokes that do not offend anyone. Some jokes make fun of different races. Those jokes are not funny. They are hurtful. It is not right to tell racist jokes. Many jokes use bad language or are about questionable subject matter. These jokes are also not acceptable. Many people are highly offended by rude jokes. What some people find funny, others will not. Comedy is a very personal thing. Some people like slapstick comedy. That is the kind of comedy that the Three Stooges use. Some people like very subtle humor. Some people will laugh at just about anything. Sometimes it is not appropriate to laugh, but you feel like laughing anyway. Did you ever see anyone fall down? Did you feel like laughing when they fell down? You were probably worried that they had hurt themselves, yet the way that they fell was so funny that you felt like laughing. It's not funny when someone falls, but you can't help but laugh even though you try to hide it. Jokes and comedy differ from culture to culture. Many people from other countries come here and don't understand our comedy. Jokes and comedies are often geared toward our environment. Sometimes comedians make fun of the things that we do in our day-to-day lives, like going to the bank or going grocery shopping. We can all relate to that. Being a comedian is not an easy job. Telling jokes and making people laugh is extremely difficult. Jokes are fun, and they are funny if they are good. Jokes can get you into a lot of trouble if they are inappropriate, and sometimes they're just not funny and nobody laughs. Here's a joke. Why does the cow wear a bell? Because its horns don't work. Do you get it? Do you think it is funny? Well, maybe it's not that funny. I told you that it was difficult being a comedian. Drugs. There are two different types of drugs. There are legal drugs, and there are illegal drugs. Legal drugs are the type of drugs that the doctor gives you when you are sick. Illegal drugs are the drugs that people sell on the street. Illegal drugs are very dangerous. If someone ever wants you to try any type of substance that you are not sure about, you should always say no. People who sell drugs on the street are criminals. If they get caught, they will be sent to jail. They sell drugs to get money. They don't care that people's lives are ruined from taking drugs. If you take illegal drugs, you can become addicted to them. That means that you just have to have the drug no matter what. Some people steal from other people to get money to buy drugs. Drugs affect your mind. If you take drugs, you will not be able to think clearly. Your marks in school will drop. Your memory won't be very good. Your personality won't be the same. It is very unfortunate that some people do try drugs. They think that it won't hurt them. They are wrong. If you are smart, you will stay away from all drugs, except for the ones that the doctor gives you. Drugs are just bad news. If you know someone who is thinking about trying drugs, tell them that their entire life could be ruined. In America, they have a saying, just say no to drugs. It is a good saying, but I think I would rather say, I'm just too smart to take drugs.
Divorce. Mary's parents just got a divorce. Mary is very upset. She thinks that her parents don't love her anymore. She thinks that they got a divorce because of her. She is wrong. Her parents love her just as much as they always did. They aren't getting divorced because of Mary. Sometimes marriages just don't work out. It isn't really anyone's fault. Marriage isn't easy. It is hard for two people to stay together for a lifetime. Sometimes people change as they get older and they move on. Some people have perfectly good marriages and they stay together for their entire lives. Divorce doesn't happen because the parents don't love the children anymore. A lot of children feel that it is their fault, but it isn't their fault at all. Children neither cause the divorce nor can they prevent it. It is up to the parents. Divorce isn't the end of the world. Children can still see both parents and stay with them. Life goes on. Sometimes children can get new stepmothers or stepfathers. That can be a good thing. You just have to be understanding and know that your parents still love you. Life doesn't always go the way that we planned it, but it has its twists and turns. Life is an adventure. If your parents get a divorce, just be understanding. Know that they love you and that this is a hard time for them. It is a hard time for you too, but these things have a way of working themselves out in the end. If my fish could talk. I have a goldfish. He swims around in his bowl all day. He looks bored. I look inside the bowl and watch him. His mouth always moves. He looks like he is talking. I imagine what my goldfish would say if he really could talk. I think he would say, "Hey, I'm bored in this little bowl. Why don't you get me a bigger tank with more fish in it? I would like to have some friends to swim around with."